In this video, I'll show you Junie, JetBrains' new AI coding agent. First, I'll explain Junie's basics, what it is, how to use it, its features and limitations. Then I'll install and use Junie for 3 scenarios. We'll build step by step a to-do application in the first scenario. Next, we'll create a console-based hotel booking system with just one single prompt. Finally, we'll create the same hotel booking system as a website, using advanced UI elements. I'll demonstrate Junie's code generation, error handling, version control, unit tests, and documentation features. You'll also see that Junie automatically fixes errors during code generation. I'll explain how Junie differs from JetBrains' existing AI coding assistant. Finally, I'll give you my honest conclusion about Junie's readiness. This video will not be a comparison video between Junie and other coding agents. Let's start. Junie is an AI-powered coding agent designed by JetBrains to handle tasks autonomously or collaboratively with developers. If you are unfamiliar with JetBrains, it is a software development company specializing in creating tools for software developers and project managers. JetBrains is most well known for its wide range of IDEs like IntelliJ, PyCharm, and WebStorm. JetBrains released Junie in an early access program, making it available to a limited number of users. JetBrains Junie is currently available for IntelliJ IDEA, Ultimate, and PyCharm Professional IDEs, and only on OS X and Linux programs. JetBrains already has an existing AI coding assistant. The difference lies in the level of autonomy and collaboration. While JetBrains AI Assistant supports developers with unique functionality to code faster, Junie operates more independently and collaboratively, solving larger tasks step by step. Later in this video, I'll show some features of the AI Assistant to give you an idea about how these two work together. Okay, let's start with installing Junie. I'm gonna use JetBrains IDE Ultimate. First, I'll go to the settings window, then to plugins. Junie is a plugin, so I'll search for it on the marketplace. Okay, here it is. Since I've already installed it, I just have to enable it. But in your case, you should install it from here and restart the IDE after that. If you have received a confirmation email from JetBrains to use Junie, you can log in here with that same account. Okay, let's continue. Here on the right sidebar, we see a new icon for Junie. When you click it, you'll see Junie's chat window. Here I can enter my prompt. And here below, I can attach files if needed. Next to that, there is a checkbox to activate the Brave mode. If enabled, it executes the terminal commands without your confirmation. For now, I will just leave it as is. Later, I will enable it in other scenarios. To personalize Junie, we use the .junie/guidelines.md file in the root directory. This is similar to the .cursorrules file used in the cursor coding agent. For now, I will ask Junie just to create it and fill it with some generic information. Let's see. First, it comes with a plan about which steps it will execute. Okay, it's already done, so that was fast. Now let's go through this plan. First, create the folder .junie if it doesn't exist. After that, create the file. Then add a project overview. Include project structure, nice. And finally add any relevant guidelines. Looks good. Now let's check what it has generated. Here, when you click on the file name, you can see what updates are done on this file. Okay, I see here the project structure, basic development guidelines, and some info about how to test and run the application. For now, it looks good. We can always update this file to align with our own development guidelines. Here we see 3 options. I can click on Done and accept the changes, or I can start it again or roll back all the changes. I just click on Done. Let me check the guidelines file. Okay, it looks good. Now we can start generating our to-do application. It will be a Java Spring application with a simple HTML UI. First, I tell Junie to create a task entity using Spring Data and provide all the fields that belong to a task. Okay, this time the plan looks quite extensive. We can see all the steps listed here. It's already working through this plan, generating the files one by one. For example, let's check this pom.xml file. We can see here the changes he has made. Let's check the task class now. Yes, it has all the fields that I have mentioned. I see it has also created the unit test. That's very nice. Okay, it is done. And now it asks me to run the unit test. Why is that? Because since I have not enabled the Brave mode, I have to confirm each execution step manually. Let's run the test. It's green. Good. I accept the changes. After every action, it returns to the main chat window. But we see here the recent actions we have done. So if we want to see the changes, we can click on them and see the actions again. Okay, the next step is to create the CRUD actions, which are the REST APIs, and also create the HTML UI. This time I will enable the Brave mode. I see that my prompt takes some time to process, so I'm fast forwarding the video here so you won't have to wait. Here, it tried to run the unit test, but that class has compiling issues. So now it tries to resolve that issue automatically without my interaction. Yes, it is resolved. No more compiler errors. But one of the unit tests is failing, and now it tries to fix that as well. As we can see, it operates autonomously. I'm not clicking anywhere or doing anything other than watching the screen. All the unit tests are passed now. That's very nice. Now I will run the application to see whether it has created everything I asked for. I will run the demo application class. We see here the landing page of the task management. Let's create a new task. I just fill in some text. Save the task. Okay, here is my task. It works. It even has links to edit a task or mark it as complete. Very good. Now I want to show you the difference between Junie and JetBrains AI Assistant. You can access the AI Assistant using another icon on the right sidebar, this one here. Here below you have the option to enter your prompt, and you can even select your model from this list. Let me open a class to demonstrate the AI Assistant behavior in the code editor. For example, here I select this code part, and directly we see an AI Actions menu appearing. There are many options to select. I choose the option to explain the code part. We see here that it took that code snippet as input and started to explain line by line. Looks good. Now let's try something else. For example, here right in the code, I want to ask to generate documentation for all methods. Well, it is generating. Green marked areas are the updates in this file. It looks good. I accept the changes. Now I want to show you that the JetBrains AI Assistant will not create files on your behalf, but just assist you with creating them. For example, I ask to create a changelog file. It is done, but it didn't create the file. I have to choose one of these three options: create the file, add the snippet code, or just copy the content to the clipboard. Before I click the create option, I want to select on the left side the folder in which folder I want that file to be created. Okay, it looks good. So basically, the difference between Junie and JetBrains AI Assistant is that Junie works autonomously and operates independently. Only way to work with Junie is through its chat window, but JetBrains AI Assistant helps you at all levels of coding. Apart from the chat window, it can be executed from anywhere in the code, or even in the shell console itself. But JetBrains AI Assistant will not directly create or update multiple files for you. You have to choose yourself one by one which files to create or update. My next video will be a detailed review of the JetBrains AI Assistant. Please subscribe to my channel to be notified about my new videos. If you are interested in JetBrains products, you can use my promotion code Baristere25 to get 25% discount on all JetBrains IDEs. Okay, let's go back to Junie and try to generate documentation. I ask here to analyze the project and generate documentation along with an ASCII diagram and add it to the README file. Okay, it is done. Let's check the README file. It has generated a layered diagram to show all the modules and the components. Presentation layer, business layer, data access layer, and finally the database layer. And here below, it gives some other project-related technical information. We are done with the changes. Now let's commit all the changes in Git. I ask to commit changes in small and logical increments. Let's see whether it understands what I'm talking about, even though I didn't mention it to commit to Git. No, apparently not. It edited my files to support the committing of changes, but that was not my intention. Here I choose to roll back the changes. This time I just say commit changes in Git. And yes, now it understands. Actually, I should have checked the Brave Mode checkbox. Okay, it is all done. Let me check the Git log. Yes, it is all there. Good. Now, let's start a new project and try to use Junie to create a hotel booking system with just one big prompt. I've already created that prompt. This has some features like register, login, available rooms, cancel a booking, data storage part, all the expected fields are defined, business logic, design, error handling, testing. For the deployment, I want to be able to deploy to Kubernetes, so I have asked here that I want to use Docker and Kubernetes. Further, architecture decisions like security, scalability, and others. And here we see briefly all the output of this prompt. I will keep the Brave mode enabled. So let's try it. I think this will take some time. I will speed it up again. Okay, it is completed. It took almost 10 minutes to generate the whole project. Let's check the files. For example, booking service class. Let me scroll down to see which methods are generated. Well, it looks quite complete. Let's check the Docker file. Nice, it looks good. I also asked to generate Kubernetes files, so let's find them. Yes, here. Service, deployment, and the config map. Looks good. Now, let's run the application. Since it works from the console, the menu is shown here. I choose first to register myself. I'm gonna fill in all the fields. Well, it didn't work. It looks like my phone number is invalid. I think it was not long enough. Let me try it again. Now it works. I'm registered. Good. Let's log in. I'm logged in. So I want to book a room. But therefore, let me first check all the available rooms. So I choose one. We see here all the rooms of the system. Looks good. These are by Juni generated dummy rooms for this application. Otherwise, I had to enter all of them manually. So well done, Juni. Let's book a room now. I choose 3. It asks for a room ID. I copy the room ID here. I give the check-in and check-out dates. And finally, the number of guests. Okay, done. It's booked. Let me check my booking again. Yes, it is there. Well, the application works really well. Now, let's continue with the last scenario. This time, I'm going to create a hotel booking website using a fancy UI design and elements. I've updated the prompt to contain more UI-related information, like use JavaScript and CSS libraries, colors, and images. Okay, I will start the generation. I will again speed it up until it is completed. Okay, it is done. Let me start the application and see the result. Well, it didn't go well. Let me copy this whole error and ask to fix it. Okay, let's try again. Good, now it works without any issues. Let's see the result. Wow, it looks amazing. The colors and UI elements are beautifully contrasted. We have a search bar in the middle. On the left side, the filters. The list of hotels here. Let me try to click on one of the hotels. Okay, that doesn't work. Let's see how the search works. It doesn't display my selection, it seems. The values are there, but it seems that the display color is white, and that's why it doesn't show. Let me ask Juni to fix this. I just say search fields are not working. It is completed. Let's try again. Okay. It is still not fixed. Let me try it again, but then this time a bit more clarification. I just say that the search fields are not showing selected values. No, unfortunately, it is still not fixed. But what I see here is that search button now works. Before it didn't work. Now I'm gonna ask to fix showing hotel details. I will not continue with this search fields. It is completed. Let's see. Good, that works. It looks very nice. All the information is here. Let me try the other hotel. Okay, that also works. Good. I think I have seen enough to have an opinion about Juni. Let's start with the pros. My first point is its deep integration within the JetBrains IDE. It's not just a separate window. Juni is directly accessible from the right sidebar, providing context-aware assistance within my coding environment. My second point is its ability to work autonomously to execute all my tasks. Also, fixing the errors was automatically done. I really liked how it creates a plan beforehand. You know which thinking and reasoning steps it is going to use. Also, the choice of the Brave mode works really well. If you want to have more control, you can disable it. My third and last point is context awareness. Even it did some mistakes when generating and fixing some actions, overall my experience is that it understands the project context and generates more relevant code and accurate code. I don't have to explain where to find the required files in order to execute a task. Now let's talk about the cons. My first point here is its speed. Sometimes you have to wait a minute just to edit a file. Complete generation of the second and third scenario took almost 10 minutes. I expect it to be a bit faster. My second and last point is that I didn't see an option to select a model like the JetBrains AI assistant. Maybe they will add it later. However, the FAQ mentions that they are using the best possible model to get the maximum value. But let's not forget that it is still an early access program product and is under development. I have been using JetBrains products for more than 10 years, and JetBrains is known for the quality and robustness of its products. This gives me confidence that the final version of Juni will be much faster. If they can integrate AI well into their products, it might put them back on top. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more reviews of popular coding agent tools available on the market.